Guys know I made this Flash Gordon figure, and let's check him out. And again, I wanted to publicly thank Mike Fee. It was actually his figure. It was the first time I made the Flash Gordon figure. He gave it to me, and it was so cool. And I will check your guys' comments, see if any questions about it. Now, in the other video, I meant to show this cool jet sled, because this is how I always imagined Flash Gordon, that last scene when he's flying in, you know, and the song's really going wild, and it was so cool. Well, I did make a couple more slight changes. So let me go ahead and check the comments first before I jump into it. Oh, hey, Charles. Hey, Mike. Yes, please hit the like button. Flying blind on a rocket cycle. Yes. Hey, Mike. Thanks for joining us. And so what I did was one last thing is you'll notice the New Adventures He-Man has a ponytail. And Flash Gordon did not have a ponytail. Now, not all New Adventures He-Man had a ponytail. It's kind of funny, if you take a look at the figures, only one of them had a ponytail. The other ones did not, out of the 3 they made. And so, but maybe in the cartoon he did. I don't remember. But anyway, I removed the ponytail. Bump, 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 bump. Here it is right here. I heated it up really hot, and then I cut it off with some scissors while it was still super hot. And yes, it does look a little weird, but not too bad. I think I got it pretty good. Chopped off there. Not like it'd be super noticeable. And I figured that was more Flash Gordon-y than just having the Mr. Ponytail Man. Oh, thank you. Thank you for liking and sharing the video. Yes. Oh, it always helps the channel a lot. So, let me go and pull them off here. Now, what's funny is the original He-Man from a long time ago had an open hand like this. Whoop. And a closed hand like this. So even though this has things to grip on with both hands, this is kind of reminiscent of the original one. Now, he did come with this armor original, not him, but this jet sled. So I thought, will the armor fit on Flash Gordon? So I had to check this out. And I started at the top, because that's what I do. And I got it locked in, loaded. And then I tried this side here. A little bit tighter, but got it. But this side I could not close. His torso is just a little bit bigger. Not much, just a little bit. Just a little bit. So, unfortunately, you cannot fit this on there. They can leave it on loose like that, and just kind of put his arm in the way so you can't see it's loose. But it's kind of cool because the blue actually goes nice with his pants. So it's kind of funny. He could wear the jet sled armor first if you really wanted him to. So there he is. Now, personally, I always thought it was kind of fun, the jet sled, because it's made to go on his back, like so. And now it's like a jet pack, which I never used it as a jet pack. I've always used it as a jet sled, and very rarely ever stuck the armor on, because usually He-Man or whoever is using it already had their own armor. You don't want to take and pull off their armor every single time. So, just stick them on in there. And then stick his hand on there. This side gets the closed hand, and this side gets the open hand, just kind of sticking on there. And it's got little wheels on it. Or you can use a figure stand and just mount it in right there. And depending on how well you balance it, it will work pretty good. Burp. Cool, cool, cool. King of the impossible. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. That is so funny. You guys mentioning lines from the... Yes. I used to love the Flash Gordon. I actually still have it on my phone. And once in a while, when I need a good song, if it's not Kashmir from Led Zeppelin, it will be the Flash Gordon theme song. It's funny, I have a handful of songs that I listen to get me pumped. One is Eye of the Tiger by Survivor, Kashmir by Led Zeppelin, Rocket Man by, how could I forget his name? What the heck? Anyway, you guys will tell me his name in a minute. And then the last one is the Flash Gordon theme song. And it's funny, it always cracked me up, right? The scene, the football scene where he's throwing the football around, which is really like a metal egg. And Elton John, thank you. How could I forget that? In the football scene where he's throwing the football around and knocking over all the guys, you know, he's sitting there and Dale Arden throws him the football and she's clapping, "Go Flash, go," and everything else. And then Ming the Merciless leans over to one of his head guys and says, they need to execute the trainer. And I just think that's so funny. Need to execute the trainer. The person who trained these guys is so bad. Kill him. Kill him now. So, hold on a sec while I switch lights. And so sometimes I'll be at work, and if somebody does something stupid, I'm like, we need to execute their trainer. Which is not a good thing, I know, but it's just funny. People don't know what the heck I'm talking about. What is he talking about? Execute the trainer. Clytus, thank you. Did you read my comment? Let's see, Charles. I went to church today and sung in choir. We sung a called song. He always takes care of me. Nice. Excellent, Charles. Excellent. Yes. In fact, this week I have been celebrating. Today we had a huge family celebration. The Lord has been good. For those that know I'm a believer, He has delivered us from something that was really evil in our family. So hooray. It was awesome. Anyway, I'll get back to Flash Gordon. So as you guys know, I just love the movie as a kid. I had my grandkids watch it. They all could barely take it. My wife actually finally watched it all the way through with me, dreading it the whole entire time. She really hates science fiction stuff, but because she loves me, she watched the whole entire thing with me. But I guess people say who were older at that same time that it was a flop, which I think is kind of funny. Have you ever seen the King Arthur and the Knights of Justice cartoon? I'm not sure if I have or not. I think no, I have not, but I have seen the figures that were based on the New Adventures of He-Man figures, I believe. Nice. Yes. Are your men on the right pills? Yes. There's some great lines in there. The hot hail. Oh yeah. There's some cool stuff. And I just don't get why the movie got such bad reviews when it actually came out. But man, it was so cool. They played it so often on our pay channel that like I said, I invited friends over and we would watch it and watch it and watch it. It was so cool. Yes. Anyway, so it's just fun to think that Flash Gordon somehow visited Eternia. Maybe he's a friend of Queen Marlena. I don't know. She seems to always be the Earth tie-in for all my storylines. That's how Hebrew got his Bible. That's how Rio Blast came from Texas to set up the new Texas. I just have used that way too many times. Her Earth connection. That is funny though. Mr. Ponytail Man. There is his ponytail. It has been cut. Just thinking, I wonder if how much I'd get on this on eBay. It is New Adventure He-Man's ponytail, sliced from He-Man's head. And some people buy the most craziest things sometimes. Like, a piece of toast that happens to have a burned image of something that looks like it could be something else. Anyway, this is like the perfect thing for the jet sled. Now, I know I could use the front of the battle ram, but this is closer. This is closer to what he had. Granted, the bottom's not as big, and he's not sitting on like a skidoo seat, but it's still pretty close. Pretty close. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to go grab an original He-Man figure just to see how he fits on here in comparison. Hold on a second. Make sure I can get past. There's my scissors. I've been looking all over for these things. Oh, it's just out of range. Out of range, man. Okay. Here is my original He-Man and Man-at-Arms and Tila. Here it is. My original figure from the 80s, not a commemorative. It's the real deal. And let's see how he fits on here. If I remember right, he doesn't quite fit right. It's like just some weirdness to it. I don't remember what it was. No, he seems to fit. Oh, that's right. If you have his hand up high enough to get the angle correctly, this one's just on super tight. That's what it was. It kind of, because when you move his arms, I don't know if you ever noticed this about your He-Man figures back in the 80s, is when the arms are down, look how far the spacing is the hands. And as you move them up, the spacing becomes less and less because of the angle. So when they're straight up and down, it's only this far apart, but when they're down, whoop, they become a much wider angle. And I used to use this all the time to hold things. So I wanted him to hold something between his hands, like let's say his battle axe, for instance, right? If his hands are too low, the battle axe won't be held. But if you take and you move him up a little bit and get the angle just right, eventually he can hold stuff. And so I remember always putting stuff between their hands of something they were holding, whether it was a person or something else, is you just have to change the angle of where the hands are at in order to, and see here, they're too close together, you can't put it in there anymore. And I thought that was almost the cleverest thing they did, because all of our other figures when we were kids, this angle was straight up and down, so the arm distance would never change. But this one was always fun. What I used to always do too, this is kind of funny, I know I'm going way off what my video was about, is right here is a perfect grip spot for him to put his hands right inside there, and he can pick up Man-at-Arms or some other figures that have armor like that. And I remember as a kid always doing that, putting He-Man's fingers zoop, just perfectly in that armor, and he could throw them. Oh! So ridiculous. What I used to also do too, which is bad, I'm not going to do it, which ruins the legs, is I would take and pull the leg back, and the rubber band would work so you could kick, because it has the rubber band inside there. And so, yes, I ruined a lot of my He-Man figures' legs by bending them back and flinging the legs forward as a kick move with the rubber band between the legs. Oh, that is funny. All right, that's enough of He-Man. We're here to talk about Flash. It's stinky. I wish you could use the music. I would have definitely used the music in my video from Flash Gordon because I have it on my phone. But if you do that, you get a copyright strike against you, and then they can get you in trouble. So it's kind of ridiculous. You just can't put in one little bar of the song just to bring everyone's memory back immediately. All right, let me check out your guys' comments. Remco Road Warriors were great with Moto. Nice. Never liked the rubber bands. Yes, the rubber bands could be a problem. Must be Faker. He-Man was holding a toothbrush. Does anyone else think the Moto figures were built similar to Remco wrestlers? I'm always scared of making my He-Man figures, so I'm really gentle with them. Yes, that's good to be. The perfect He-Man. Hey Todd, what's funny about you turning an NA He-Man into Flash? I'll be turning mine into Hero 2 Dare. Nice. That is funny. GLD put me in a timeout. I saw Hebrew has a video, and now I'm here. Hey, thanks for joining us. Not sure what GLD is, but is that Google download? I don't know. Not download. Is that a vintage jet sled or a custom? It's a vintage one. This is the actual toy it came with. So check this out. I'll get my other box while I'm here. Okay. What's funny is I almost left this box out. You guys can't hear me too well. But I just put it away because I figured I didn't need it for the video. So this box dun, 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 has some cool stuff in it. We had a couple things that came out. We had our jet sled, we had the mega laser, and then we had the stilt stalkers. Bump, 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 bump. And they were just kind of all released about the same time. And here are those stilt stalkers right here. And they were so crazy because you would mount them on the back, And then you literally put them on He-Man, and you could have these giant stilts. Let me go and grab my He-Man figure again. Where did I put him? Oh, he's behind here. Now, I'm not going to put the armor on because it's a pain to get the armor on. But basically, you'd put his foot like that. And then after you got his foot in there, you'd raise this up. And then you would stick his hand right into this handle right here. And you had to get the angle right. Same thing, just like you had to do with the other stuff. It's always a pain to get his hand in there. There we go. So you got his hand and his foot. And the right one always went in pretty good because, you know, he's got a solid hand grip in there. And that works pretty good. The left hand, though, not quite as easy because it didn't have a grip on his left hand. So you lift it up. Oh, too far. Too far, man. You've gone too far. And you just kind of stick his hand in there. And it's like, well, what do you use these for, right? What purpose could this have? So I used to pretend like he was walking through a swamp or something else, and he had to get through the swamp of acid or whatever it was, and to walk with his legs would you know, he couldn't make it. So that was always a kind of a fun. And so I used to love when they'd make these kind of extra things. When I was a kid, I did not have these particular sets. These would really be cool. But what I did have, like I got another stilt stalker here too. What I did have is the Mega Laser. Bum, 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 bum. And I remember my Uncle Chuck. He was amazing. He was the coolest guy ever. Every man wanted to be him, and every woman wanted to be with him. He was just so cool, and every kid just loved Uncle Chuck. Well, he got me this Mega Laser when I was a kid, and so for me, this always had special memories. Let's look at that. And it reminded me of the AT-AT from Star Wars, the two guns shooting from the chin level or mouth level, whatever it was. And of course, it always went on my Man-at-Arms. He was always the keeper of the Mega Laser. See, now I'm going way too far off my Flash Gordon thing here. And it has a scope on there, so Man-at-Arms could scope out what's going on. It has a belt here, so you could not lose his stuff. There we go. And then this goes in his hand. And of course, you gotta get the angle right, otherwise it won't work. There it is. So scope's on. Everything's on. He's ready for battle. And yeah, it didn't fit with his armor on. So he had to take his armor off, which lets his chest totally open for potential danger. But there you go, and you wind this up, and blam, 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 blam. How cool is that? Yep. Fun stuff. Then we also had these cool toys that I don't think were released in the U.S., just over in Italy and other places, and that was like the stilt, not the stilt stalker, but these other, the scuba attack and cliff climber and castle tools. Those were all cool too. Cool, fun stuff. All right, I have jabbered on too far the wrong direction. Let me check your guys' comments. I forgot about the walker. Yes. This stuff was still in stores in 88 and 89. A lot of it was, yes. I'm using the stilt stalker with an Origins He-Man. Fits perfect, easy to manipulate. Perfect. Flash looks like Cody Rhodes. Just a man with a man's courage. What? Oh, Charles. They got it on Amazon Prime, man. Yes, you have to pay for it. Get it, see it, watch it. You gotta see the Flash Gordon movie. That is our requirements for you, your homework. You got to see Flash Gordon. All right. I think that is it. I did see somebody one time make a special Stilt Stalker He-Man. It was awesome. They used a bunch of blues and reds for the boots and the shorts and everything else, and it looked pretty cool, and stuck on the armor that came with him. I guess I should put him back on his pedestal here. There we go. Now the whole gang's here. We got the Jet, we got the Stilt Stalker, we got the Mega Blaster, Mega Laser, Mega Gun. Let's see what the name was called. Luckily I still have on the back of here. Mega Laser, Mega Laser. And so you can see it came out towards the end, because here's our Snake Men that killed the line. So, and the Rock people. Let's see what they said He-Man used it for. He-Man uses his telescoping Stilt Stalkers to get atop of the battle and strike down enemies from above. He has the high ground. The high ground. Fun stuff. All right. I'm going to check out your guys' final comments, and then I shall end the video. Sam Jones. Yes. Sam was also in the movie Ted. Does the Mega Blaster work with Origins? It should. Most of the stuff that we have works just fine with Origins, except for the armor won't close. But if you don't have closing armor, it should work just fine, because this has different adjustments on there. I think one time I did try it with my classics figures, and it even actually worked on there, but not perfect. So you got to stick his rubber head through there. And I think with the commemorative ones, I had to pull off this little piece right here so it fit. Well, here it is. I had to pull off the back. That's what it was. This little part right here snaps off and the back comes off. Stick his armor back on. It is so funny. This is such a wrong story. I'm not even sure it or not. But obviously I played with He-Man figures before I started dating, and I was so surprised the first time I saw my wife's bra, what it looked like. I was like, that looks just like my He-Man's armor. I think she thought I was crazy. Oh, that is so funny though. All right. Well, you guys, thanks for joining me. Let me know, should I put his ponytail on eBay to see if anybody will purchase it? Lock of He-Man's hair. I don't think I'm going to. I was just trying to be funny, but I forgot how cool these were. I used to love putting him in these. It's just a fun. And you know what? It doesn't fall over as easier. These big old feet on the bottom. Keep the ponytail. Mr. Ponytail Man. You know, I might just cut off another one. I might leave this one's on, but I think I might cut the ponytail off this one. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. I mean, there is a spot for it to fit through the helmet, so I may just leave it alone. All right, check out the final comments. He literally has guns in his thighs. Yes. Yep, that is true. It is so strange, though, because obviously in Star Wars we saw a lot of swords as well, but their swords would block lasers and actually had a laser so it can cut through stuff. But yeah, it is kind of funny to think that he just has a sword, even though it's, you know, based off a Star Wars sword now. But yeah, it is quite the difference than having a laser blaster gun, you know, in order to shoot someone. I always used to imagine that the laser guns were far and few between and left over from a civilization that's been destroyed, almost like Thundar or something. so that not everyone could have them. Like Zodak had them, the castle had them. It is very, very, very limited because it was just too powerful of a weapon compared to a battle axe or a sword. And so in my storyline that I used to pretend as a kid, the laser guns were rare and you couldn't make any more. And when they went kaput, that was just the end of it. And so they were a high expensive commodity that only a few people had. Now Zodak had it because he was off world, but anything else was basically a rarity. Now then, of course, as newer lines came out, we had stuff like this where it's laser built right on it and some kind of ray of some sort. And then we had this here, which is giant two laser things, which came out, you know, there's even a He-Man's wearing this on Rio Blast has his stuff in the comic, I think. But it's just I like the idea of laser guns were leftover technology that is no longer known, that nobody knows how to make it or how to do it. So nobody can make new ones. They only have what's available, which, you know, then kind of limits the world a little bit too. You know, your story build, it can only go so far. You only have so many laser guns, and it's just a rare, rare commodity. All right. Last chance for comments. Oh, this is the king with leftover parts. So he has skin underneath and bare arms. And these are orange legs. They're not bare legs. But it's just, they look very bare because they're so close in color to heroes, to New Adventures He-Man's bare arms. Warrior King, yes. We'll give him his spear. Spear of power! Lightsabers are great. Yep. Cute the ponytail. All right. That's it. Thanks for joining me. And like they say in the 1987 movie, whoop, good journey. Whoop, bye now.